Good evening. We begin with breaking news tonight at 5 o'clock and a problem in the upcoming May special election. A mistake on Multnomah County ballots will delay their arrival. Thank you for joining us. I'm Laurel Porter.
And I'm David Molko. With the election just over 3 weeks away, this ballot blunder means they won't be in the mail this Wednesday as originally planned. So here is what we know tonight. The mistake deals with the race for Multnomah County Commissioner District 3. Now, that is Jessica Vega Peterson's seat, which she vacated when she became county chair. Elections officials say when the ballots were printed, that District 3 race was put on every ballot in the county, not just for voters who live in District 3. Officials say almost all ballots, more than 550,000, are going to need to be reprinted at a cost the county estimates of more than $300,000. That will be covered through a contingency fund and budget savings from the Department of Community Services. The new ballots will be mailed by May 2nd, so all in all, about a week later.
And to be clear here, this only affects Multnomah County voters. Also, some people who live overseas or in the military may have already received their ballots. The elections office says those people should still use that ballot they got, even with the error. You can reach out to the elections office if you have any questions. Meantime, the deadline to register for that May 16th special election is almost here. If you haven't already registered, you have until tomorrow night to get it done. Voter pamphlets are already in the mail. The special election features school board races and some local levies. If you haven't registered to vote yet or need to update your information, just head to oregonvotes.gov/register.
A good reminder there. All right, this evening, the Clark County Sheriff's Office is one step closer to launching a body camera program. It means you might see some deputies outfitted with cameras on a trial basis.
As Mike Benner reports, a few of the agency's vehicles are also equipped with cameras as well.
Inside Clark County Sheriff's Deputy Chris Fisk's department-issued SUV, you'll find a camera mounted on the front windshield. You'll find a second camera on Deputy Fisk's body.
They made it dummy-proof or cop-proof, basically, so it's kind of nice.
Deputy Fisk is one of 4 sworn members of the Sheriff's Office to be testing out the Axon cameras. The trial started in early April.
It's super easy to use. I mean, you just double tap it, turns on. Like I said, you don't got to worry about it. It lets it vibrate, or you can also have a sound emit if you wanted to let you know that it's still on and working.
It's a huge step forward.
Commander Todd Barsness is overseeing the program. He says during the trial, the cameras are recording every call the 3 deputies and 1 sergeant respond to.
The transparency, the ability to not only resolve problems or concerns about calls, but also to document calls more thoroughly. The program is a lot more expansive than just putting a camera on a deputy.
Other local law enforcement agencies understand that, including the Vancouver Police Department. They launched their body camera program earlier this year. And just last week, the City of Portland and the Police Officers Union reached an agreement on the adoption of body-worn cameras, clearing the way for deployment soon.
Body-worn cameras isn't new to law enforcement across the nation. It's going to be new to the Clark County Sheriff's Office. We're actually really excited.
As is Deputy Chris Fisk, who has yet to discover any negatives about the camera strapped to his body or the other mounted in his rig.
It's super easy to use and gives a good perspective of everything.
The Clark County Sheriff's Office will wrap up this camera trial at the end of this month. If they decide to move forward with the manufacturer, they hope to have these body-worn cameras in-house sometime this summer and staff wearing them by the end of the year. As far as these in-vehicle cameras, in all likelihood, they would come early next year due to manufacturing issues. Reporting in Clark County, I'm Mike Benner for KGW News.
New tonight, Phil and Penny Knight announced they are investing $400 million to help rebuild Portland's historically black Albina neighborhood. It'll be done through the newly established 1803 fund. They say the goal is to, quote, transform current and future generations of black Portland. They hope to do that through investments in things like education and culture. Residents of the Northeast Portland neighborhood have been displaced over the years for various reasons, including the construction of I-5.
We've got an update on gun violence this evening with a number of shootings across the metro area. First, a man was killed early Saturday morning at an apartment complex in Northeast Portland's Cully neighborhood. No word on any arrests there. Then on Sunday morning, another deadly shooting, this time inside a business on Southeast Foster. One person died, though other details are scarce. And in Washington County, deputies are looking for a man who they say tried to rob a woman, shot at her, and shot again at her car as she was driving away. Authorities have identified the suspect as this man, 43-year-old Glenn Hornsby Jr. This happened Friday night on Northwest Dogwood Street in the Cedar Mill area. Police found Hornby's car in Hillsborough, they say, and he is considered armed and dangerous. The woman was hit once in the chest. She was treated and released from the hospital. Well, dozens of people gathered in southeast Portland over the weekend to pay tribute to the radio cab driver who authorities say was murdered by a passenger. 43-year-old Reese Lahan drove a taxi for radio cab for more than a decade. Friends described him as an amazing artist and musician, and colleagues as a driver who in a decade did not have a single complaint. So Saturday afternoon, fellow drivers organized a cab convoy in his memory.
There's a lot of anger, a lot of just not able to understand why this happened. And there's no putting the pieces together to figure this one out. There just isn't.
Well, court documents say Lahan picked up murder suspect Moses Lopez on April 8th. Police say Lopez stabbed the driver from the back seat. Lopez was arrested and has since pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder.
An Oregon family has finally received closure after 47 years of not knowing what happened to their loved one. Ilya Ella Wilkins went missing in Clackamas County in 1976 after she left her nursing home. But it took decades for new DNA technology to confirm her death. Human remains were found in the Sandy area in 1981, and investigators noted the skull probably belonged to an older female who lost all her teeth and likely wore dentures. It's a description that matched Wilkins, but now investigative genetic genealogy helps identify an unknown person by looking for relatives in databases and family trees, just like Wilkins.
And we had done forensic DNA analysis on the bones already. We had uploaded that DNA profile into the national DNA database, and it had been searching against family reference standards, missing persons standards, all of these items in these profiles, but it never associated genetically with any other profiles.
The medical examiner's office reached out to Ms. Wilkins' granddaughter for a DNA sample. The test revealed a match, and the Oregon chief medical examiner officially confirmed the ID of the remains on April 4th of this year. Jury selection got underway today in the trial against Pacific Corp over the power company's alleged role in Oregon's historic wildfires in September 2020. 17 Oregon residents are part of a $1.6 billion class action lawsuit. They allege Pacific Corp failed to shut off power equipment before and during the Labor Day windstorm, and that helped spark and contribute to the spread of several major fires that year. The fires burned more than 1 million acres, destroyed thousands of homes, and killed 9 people. State and federal investigators still haven't ruled on the cause of the fires.
A Portland nonprofit helping Black residents stay in their homes is now getting a little greener. Taking Ownership PDX provides free home upgrades and repairs to homeowners and small businesses. Its founder, Randall Wyatt, was recently awarded a $40,000 so-called electric mobility grant from Pacific Power for a brand new all-electric Volkswagen. Wyatt said beyond saving money on gas and reducing emissions, the new vehicle also makes it easier for him to get his tools to job sites, work he says that has never been more important as property values climb in Portland's historically Black neighborhoods.
They were in situations where their houses were, in such bad condition that they were vulnerable to predatory real estate professionals or developers, and then us being able to fix up the homes puts them in a better position to where they can, stand their ground and not have to take, lowballed offers.
Wyatt says he recognizes that climate change does not affect everyone equally, with communities of color and other marginalized groups often suffering more in extreme weather.